ॐ कालकालाय विद्महे कालातीताय धीमहि तन्नो कालभैरव प्रचोदयात्। ॐ हिङ्गुळे परमहिङ्गुळे अमृतरूपिणी तनुशक्तिमनशिवे श्रीहिङ्गुळाम्बिकाय नमः। ॐ नमस्कारम्। I have short of words today because I am so blessed that actually many of you really feel that actually whenever the information is shared, they feel that actually those information are meaningful for them. But there are multiple questions from a sadhakas with the same pattern about couple of things asking me about the higher level of information. But uh, in mean like higher level information means to like kundalini, or it may be related to the astrology, asking about their rashi related information about their inner power. And there are other aspects of the sadhakas who want to know more about Bhairava, how exactly Bhairava is being pulled them into this particular sadhana paddhati, and how exactly Devi is making a changes in their life. And many of them also have an inquiry about Dasha Mahavidyas. But before this, let me explain something which is very, very subtle. And most importantly, before we know all or where to focus on, we need to have something called as in clarity. We need to have something called as an alignment, a spiritual alignment, which can also be like inner harmony, stulana, or which is like even can be called as an alchemy. Okay, I'm very conscious here using the word subtle because here the mind stop resisting about the awareness, basically the awareness about becoming steady. This is why we are I'm trying to put across the word as a subtle, because we have to know the initial step before we need to know about the concept or the understanding or decoding something deep when it comes to the devatas, or the process of the devatas, or even the alignment of the existence. So mainly about stulana, as I told you, it can also be like inner alchemy or inner alignment. It is all about the alchemy of an inner transformation which should happen first. Primarily, that is the basic information. As a sadhakas, we need to understand this, or else it would be just a mechanical task, taking, sitting in front of the devata, rolling the malas, making sure that bhog is being given to him, and offering whatever the bhog prasadam to the people belonging nearby to you, or the naivedya to the swana, or everyone, whoever are in looking for the prasadam, giving to them and thinking that actually I'm done with the sadhana. Not at all. This is not the sadhana. Sadhana is about the inner transformation. But before inner transformation, we need to understand at the surface level, alchemy is we need to it is all about spoken as something like a turning a base metal into a gold. That is an alchemy in a common language. But in a very true essence or a inner sense of a sadhana paddhati or a spiritualism, alchemy is about something like turning the ordinary human state into the um, awakened awareness. This awareness only happens when you are aligned. Let me again reiterate, when you are aligned with the divine grace. In simple words, alchemy is the, like we can call it as, it's a process of transformation. What you are now into what you meant to be. Like everyone will be thinking that whatever I'm trying to do, this is not what I am. I need to be something else. This is what actually the real alchemy is all about. It is about inner transformation. The external transformation will only change depending upon the circumstance. The inner changes can only happen with the grace and again with your efforts. Here, many people, when it comes to the inner transformation, when it comes to the sadhana paddhati, they give lot of techniques telling that these are the technique, these are the tools which can be utilized to awaken yourself such that the alignment can happen with the sadhana paddhati. But today, I'm not going to give any kind of a technique because the truth does not awaken through the technique alone. Okay, it will it will actually going to give you a path. But here today I'm going to share you a story because these stories bypasses the mind and reaches the place where awakening actually begins, and this can only happen through the proper alignment. And hope I believe most of you would be knowing about this particular story about uh, King Kesari as well as Anjanama. After a long penance, Anjanama and Kesari, King Kesari, were able to actually do a penance to the Shiva, and Shiva was very very happy. Shiva came and was very happy with their tapas and gave them a boon, and that boon was so beautiful and aligned that actually he granted them a kid. They were looking for a Vamshodharaka, like next generation, and the Kesari as well as Anjanama was being gifted by Shiva with a boon, and that boon was a not an ordinary one. It was like a superhuman. Superhuman will be having all the eight Ashtavidyas, we call it as all Ashtavidya Parangata, and not one in the cosmos, and no one in the cosmos will be able to defeat him. And this was like unexpected boon or unbelievable boon which was being received by Shiva to the Anjanima as well as Kesari. Yes, you are correct. This is the story of Hanuman, the Anjana Sutta Veera Hanuman. See, this story, why I'm trying to tell you, this story is actually, he, after this getting this particular boon, he was so tremendous that he used to be like, in a few seconds, he used to grow like a mountain and used to become like a very small, tiny person in front of everyone. And his own friends actually used to fear for him the way he used to do it because he never used to know about how to handle his energies. And he also made sure that in some circumstance he went to Rishimunis where there was yajna being performed. He went and actually trying to disturb them, and he was being cursed. Hanuman was being cursed by the Rishimunis that he is going to forget all his vidyas, ashtavidyas, which has been gifted by Shiva, and is going to recall only once there is someone who is going to come and make your dormant energies to be activated. I believe till here you all would be knowing the stories. And later on, same. Rama came in search of Masita, all the down, and Jambavanta was the person who was enabled the dormant energy to this particular storyline, and he was a person who activated his dormant energies, Hanuman's dormant energies, that he need to take a one long leap such that actually he can cross the ocean and reach to the Sitama and will be able to give a tell that actually Ram has come, Sri Ram has come to actually take the ma. This story, every one of us would be knowing it. But here, the what we need to understand is the dormant energy. Okay, Jambavanta enabled this dormant energy, and this dormant energy is actually not like something which was completely forgotten. No, it was actually in a stage where actually everyone Hanuman can reform whenever it was needed, only when someone was trying to activate those and tell them that these are the gunas, these are the swabhava which you are carrying, which is making you much more capable than what you are. Okay, as every human being in born like complete, but not in a conscious of the completeness. Inside each of us there is a something called as an hidden furnace. Okay, like we can call it as, like in ancient we used to call this as kunda, agni kunda. Okay, everyone has a furnace. It's not that actually everyone have become so divinely that actually they do not get any kind of an angriness at all. No, everyone have born with this quality. And ancient people used to call this as a kunda because a subtle energy space where, like, we can call it as a life is meant to be refined with an awareness. Yet from the childhood itself we are being trained to look always outside, take a justification from outside, take a confirmation from outside, take a appreciation from outside, that yes, you, if you want to be like complete, you need to have something called an external factor. Yet from childhood days itself we are trained to look outside, like we are always been compared, always been shaped, telling that you need to do this, you are lacking this, you need to actually make sure that actually these are the things which you need to learn, and slowly convincing that something is missing in us. This is what happens in every human form. And in today's era, this is a common. People, especially on today's world, think that actually like they always been corrected, compared, always been told that actually you need to learn something. You don't know this. You see that there would be a starting of a comparison at the home at all. Even at the home, between the siblings, there will always start with a comparison, telling that how exactly he is studying, how exactly he is invoking his behavior in front of others. These are the comparison which always starts, due to which there is a hidden furnace, the kunda, which get activates. See, we are always been slowed down. We are always been slowed down by the society, convincing that something is missing in all of us. See, moreover, like I can connect it into like in an astrological terms, one Rashi feels it emotionally like longing, another like very ambitious, another like restlessness, and another like dissatisfaction within itself. These are the common normally you will be hearing in today's world whenever you play any kind of a video, especially being the start of the year. Everyone will be telling that this particular Rashi has an emotional longing, this particular Rashi has another lot of ambitions, this particular Rashi. Again, the expression differs, okay, but the wound is the same. Everyone has the same problem, the belief that the wholeness exists somewhere outside of the self. We always need someone to come in our life and give a justification and tell that you are complete. So we start searching, we start seeking the confirmation, we start seeking the partners, jumping or hopping between the partners, thinking that no, this partner is not good for me, I'll go for the next partner. Or again, there is a karma sambandha, that is one more big aspect of the switching of the partners. That's a different story, but here it is about the recognition. It's about people telling that you are good, people telling that you have this power, people telling you that actually with this power you will be able to do XYZ things. And when it comes to the sadhana, people want to experience spiritual experiences, even a divine vision. They read some kind of content information in the book and they think that actually this kind of an sequence or a spiritual experience is not happening in my life, and due to which I am not good for this. But the more we search, the more fragmented we feel. This is not about the failure. I always tell that this is the first stage of the sadhaka in the sadhana paddhati which will make you align? This question need to arise, because this is where the Devi begins her work. Devi, again, I don't want to differentiate the Devi in any of the Swarupas. Devi, she's a Shakti. Here, Devi never ever enter dramatically at first. She enters as a discomfort. Once you are in a discomfort, that is where you need to think Shakti started working in you. Maybe as a question that does not go anyway, like it is like as quite inner voice asking, is this all the problem I'm facing it, or this is what actually I am? The am I why I'm trying to get such kind of a problem in my life? Always me. This is a question always we have. Once you get this question as always me, think that you are in a perfect stage. Devi has started working on you. It may be Kula Devi, it may be any of your Ishtartha Devi, or it may be your own connection with any of the Dasha Mahavidya Devis. Again, I don't want to connect the Devi or bind the Devi into a different names. But let's keep it in mind. Like at some point of time, we as a sadhakas need to get aligned. And this movement is different from each one of us. Everyone have alignment in a different stages, because we all take the karma phala, prarabdha karma phala, in a different stages. Here it is somewhat like a seeker becomes the turning and running towards something. Like not depressed, like not defeated, just deeply honest. This is what the second stage is about when Devi start working on you. And this honest is a first true act of sadhana. You may be thinking that rolling the Rudraksha bead or Japamala is the first step of the sadhana. Not at all. Taking the Diksha from the Guru, not at all. Doing the Namapala, Moola Mantra, not at all. It is about first turning. Once you are in a deep trouble, once you think that why me, that is something point in your life is turning. And that moment is a different from every one of us. You get depressed. You get defeated. You think that you are deeply not an honest. When these questions arises, that's where the establishment of you with the connection with the Deva started. And once you deeply are honest in your actions, the honesty is the first true act of the sadhana, as I told. See, we as sadhakas turns inward not to awaken something which has been read. Like as I told you about few people asking about the Kundalini. Kundalini is not something happening outside. It is not something like a gesture or an actually you will be able to see it. It is somewhat like actually we can witness the sun and moon. It is somewhat like a prana, life within us, but we cannot show anyone how I am alive. Similarly, Kundalini is all about. Similarly, the chakra is all about. Not to gain the power. Kundalini, many people ask me that actually Kundalini activation, again, in many of the videos I have already spoken about this. There are 3 stages in Kundalini. We call it as Gata. We call it as Brahma Gata, Vishnu Gata and Rudra Gata. Gata is actually somewhat like it are the alignment of the chakras which will make your awareness to go to the next stages. Unless Brahma Gata, that is Mooladhara to Manipura, is active, you will never able to go to the next stage of another. Okay, and there just may be like a juggling between the different gatas, and you may be thinking that yeah, I am already experiencing the Kundalini and chakras and I am able to experience everything. I have become a spiritual master. Not at all. See, turning inwards begin of the inner alchemy is what the first stage of the life is all about. Here, the truth, honesty is the first true act of the sadhana, which as I told you, once you are aligned, once you feel that actually that I need to turn inward, I need to see something, It is not about the gaining something. I don't want to gain something in my life, but a simple to sit with myself without escaping the situation, without escaping the outer situation, thinking that why I need to have this problem. Someone is actually asking me, or my wife is asking me something, or my kids are, I need to actually make sure that actually troubles are always there. Your boss is trying to trouble you, your neighbors are trying to trouble you, your external factors are trying to trouble you. External things are always, it's like a inevitable pain. Okay, you can always choose. There is a difference between pain and the, what we call it as, the trouble. Pain actually comes only when external factors, we cannot escape from it. But trouble, when it comes in our life, we always have a choice whether we need to react it or we don't want to react it. It is somewhat like this turning inward is beginning of what we call it as an alignment, sadhana alignment. And this alignment should happen to all the sadhakas. Then only they will be able to go to the next stages of the sadhana paddhati. The inner transformation. The inner transformation is somewhat like, as I told you, inner alchemy. And when this happens, Devi becomes very, very active. The trouble, once you face it, it is not like escaping. As I told you, set in the trouble, experiencing it fully, Devi becomes active then. Not as an external goddesses, but as an inner, we can call it as a refinement. She will change as what we need to think in this particular situation. The older emotion surfaces, it would be in a dormant, it will surfaces, and suffering of the fear rises. You may be in a deepest trouble. Tears may come without any kind of trouble in your life, but listening to someone's story, you may be feeling that actually this is my story. Silence may feel heavy at that time. You'll not be, some people always tell me, sitting in a silence and doing the sadhana, I cannot do it. Silence may be feeling very, very heavy to them. Trust me, this is where Devi becomes activate. This is not the regression time. I can only tell this as, this is a purification. This is a purification which is supported by Devi, Devatas, to align this particular cosmos inside us, such that actually we get aligned to the sadhana paddhati. Why I am trying to tell alignment of the Devi is, this is the purification stage to make sure your inner feelings. It is somewhat like Devi melting the rigid structure of the mind, or we can call it as the way fire melts the raw metal. Devi is trying to clear all our rigidities. The inner kunda, the fire kunda, begins to warm, not through the forces but through the bhava. This is the reason always in Bhairava Anugraha we speak more about bhava, because bhava is where you start giving your offerings to the kunda, the warm, pat swaha. This is what actually it starts with. Now, understand this clearly. Like, you may be wondering, like, why Bhairava has come in my life. Bhairava does not awaken because you deserve him. Bhairava reveals himself when fear loses its grip. In sadhana paddhati, many of them comes and talks me about the fear, and I always tell, till you are in a fear, Bhairava is never going to come near you. Bhairava is not an experiences. He is not an experience to be experienced. He is a stability. He brings you a stability. He is a guardian of the inner fire, that kunda. And that kunda can only be activated with the once you are in a trouble in your life. And once you are in a trouble in your life, feel that you are blessed. You are getting aligned. Devi started working on you. Bhairava is actually awakening you. When Devi refines and Bhairava stabilizes, and the real transformation begin here at this point of time. See, Bhairava activates within all of us something like a fundamental changes he will bring in our life. Irrespective of anyone in this society, everyone are being governed, supported and blessed by Bhairava. You may be wondering how. Every one of us are living in something called as a time frame. And this time frame is governed, protected, and this is entire, we can call it as the Adipati of the time is Kala Bhairava. The Bhairava himself, the Bhairava consciousness is what actually is all about. Bhairava activates within every one of us. Something very fundamental changes. Once you have a trouble in your life, there will be some fundamental changes starts happening in you. Once you do a sadhana paddhati in a proper process, you still feel emotional, but they're no longer dominating you. You will still feel emotions, like sometimes you feel emotional, and but still you're not being tormented by it. You still engage with the world, but you are not consumed by it. Many of them actually tell me, I'm being consumed by many of the factors, especially social media. I always tell, when you sit for the sadhana, put your mobile to the silent mode. Give time to yourself. Again, external factors will always disturb you. That is the initial stage of the sadhana paddhati. Once you are aligned, sitting in the middle of the market, you will be able to get aligned. And that will take time. Doesn't mean that actually, by giving an example, as I told you, you may be thinking that, yeah, I'm already on that stage. No, unless you experience it, you cannot. You stop leaking the energy into the unnecessary reactions. People asking something, you start reacting to it. Husband asks something, wife react to it. Wife asking something, husband start reacting it. Children start trying to do something. The parents, as sadhakas, they try to react on it. As students, when they go to the classes or to the colleges or the school, they start reacting to their friends and surroundings. People especially going to the office, their boss tells something or a colleague tells something, they start reacting to it. The leakage of the energies will stop. Unnecessary reactions get stopped. Once you stop this unnecessary reaction, think that that is where Bhairava has entered your life. Till then, you may just be rolling your malas, sitting and doing all the sadhana paddhati, but still, it is only the physical alignment. Only for a couple of minutes, you will be able to feel his experience. Later on, whole day, you will feel the same engagement of the world. The field dominating in your emotions. All this will happen. And once Bhairava comes, time itself begins to feel different. It is like somewhat like a less urgent, less threatening in this particular life. This is why Bhairava is called the governor of the time, Kalatita. As I told you, irrespective of whoever agrees or not, everyone are governed, bounded, taken care by Bhairava. That doesn't stop. We cannot stop the time, right? He frees you from being enslaved by it. You will not be entangled with it. He is going to support you. He is going to make sure that actually you are not enslaved with that particular time. And even in, especially when it comes to this alignment, this is where the Bhairava enters into your life. And especially from an astrological point, I have been being a new era, whenever I just chat or scroll in between the social medias and even in the televisions, I always see that astrology talking about a lot of rashis, decoding about the behavior and bhava. Let me just tell you about this. Each rashi experiences have an expression. This is a transformation, like uniquely all the rashis have it. For an example, I can tell, like the Scorpio feels its emotionally intensity whenever they sit and try to do something. The Pisces like feels it a very longing, life getting paused, everything slow down in their life. You may be hearing that actually many astrologers talking that actually this year the Pisces is in Vrichika Rashi, and due to that actually life is completely paused. It is becoming more longer. And a Virgo may feel that dissatisfaction with the imperfection what they're trying to do. Or even it may be like a Capricorn feeling it a silent burden in their life. The Cancer may also be feeling that it is a deep memory, troubles, old pain patterns are still reflecting in there. And even like Leo or Aries, they may feel that unexpressed fire, the inside, blaming on someone. It may be in the fire mode. Let me just tell you, here again there are 4 modules when it comes to the Rashi Paddhati, when it comes to the astrology. I am not trying to tell that it is wrong. No, it is. Everyone have been bond or connected to these dimensions. Again, it is being bonded with the fire, water, earth as well as air qualities. All these Rashis are connected with these 4 qualities. The fire sign becomes steady flame instead of a wildness like wildfires, or a water signs become a deep and still intent to overflowing. The earthy signs of the Rashi become a grounded without any rigidity. Air signs clarity without the restlessness. Here, even through the astrology, we can see whether the sadhaka is aligned to any kind of a Rashi and how exactly he is getting trouble, which is making, because we all live in this time frame. We are governed by planetary moments. We are governed by the Rashis. We have something called as an bhava, and all this starts with this. But the essence is one. The seeker is no longer seeking completion outside. There is a always it is symbolically like a not systematic problem. It is not about the ritual. It is about the living. Okay, it's about the living or the behavior thought patterns. And here what we need to understand here is, here saying something very important on a spiritual seekers. All of us actually have this trouble. No one can escape from this. People who are telling about this information to the people outside, even they will also have that problem. You go and ask any of the astrologers, ask them whether they don't have any trouble in their life. They will also having hundreds of problems in their life, but still they will be able to give a justification, tell them that you are not good in this, you are not good in that, you have a trouble with this, you have a trouble with this problem, and we get aligned. We think that, oh yes, nowadays even from the numerological aspects also, Moolang, they will try to tell that, figure out from a Moolang telling that actually like your troubles have come into your life and this here is not going to be good for you. After listening it, automatically the person will go down. Seeing the light, sensations, they think that no, this year is going to be dump. Again, the real transformation is a simple, it is a misunderstanding of this particular self. You shed old tendencies. Angry loses its taste, negativity loses its pull, or creativity flows naturally once Devi is active in your life. Bhairava is active in your life. Once Bhairava comes in your life, everything starts working for you. Your action becomes clear. It will become very, very quiet. No longer any kind of questions. People come and ask me, I've been doing sadhana for almost like more than 10 years. I have done 10 lakhs of mala japa, but still they are not clear in their mind. Their mind is not quieter nor effective in what they are trying to ask. They always have something trouble in their life, and they always seek how to get rid of this particular problem. As I told you, as a story of a Hanuman, Bhairava is a person, as a Jambavanta, he is going to come in our life and going to tell us that there is no need of external factors. There is no need of external confirmations, approvals from anyone or someone external outside to come and tell you that you are good. You are always been good. You are always been wonderful. You are always doing something great. But the people around you don't look for a justification. Once you do a sadhana, once you do a Bhairava sadhana, once you are part of this particular process, Devi has already come in your life. Bhairava is already starting working towards you, making your life much more meaningful in your life. One day, and this day arrives very, very silently. You may be thinking that when? No, one day it will come very silently. You realize you are no longer walking towards, no longer walking towards the Bhairava. You are walking as a Bhairava, not as an ego, not as an identity, but as a presence. This is what the true Bhairava consciousness is all about. The furnace is lit, the kunda is lit. Kunda, bhava is already lit. The alchemy is already alive. We as a sadhaka, the seeker has dissolved because he always have hundreds of questions, hundreds of justification, hundreds of validation someone need to give. It is already dissolved. The only awareness remains. And this awareness is what the true changes is all about. This is why I always say Bhairava is the simplest and the most compassionated path in this Kali Yuga, because he does not demand perfection. He demands honesty. Be honest in your actions. If you have not done, not done. If you have done, you are done. This is what the true essence of a sadhaka is all about. Honesty. He does not ask you to escape life. Go and sit somewhere corner in the woods. Going and sitting in the tip of the mountains. No. Do not escape from the life. He tells that being in life, you can become the sadhaka. He is asking you to inhabit it fully. Sit, turn inward. Let the Devi refine you. Troubles come to you. Understand that Devi has started working on you. Let Bhairava hold you. Once you start doing the sadhana, automatically your life will be in a better alignment. Be truth, be honest for yourself. This is what the true meaning of the Kundalini awakening is all about. Chakra, before even understanding of the chakra, sadhaka need to align this first awareness. This is what the true inner alchemy is all about. So I always request all of you, before you start, before you do any kind of a sadhana, make sure that actually Bhairava is already in your life. He is already working towards you, making your life much more meaningful and much more stable in your life. Just see, be honest in whatever the actions you are going to perform, and do not wait for someone to come and give you a justification that you are good in this or good in that. This will always be there in the trouble in your life. Always people will come and tell you that actually you need to be something good. You're not good in this. You need to be good in something else. People will always come and tell that actually there is some troubles in your behavior or your justification, because they validate from their knowledge perspective. They think that actually how they want to do, they want other person to do in their life. It's impossible. We as a Bhairava sadhakas need to understand this inner alchemy need to first be activated. We need to be aware about this inner alchemy. We need to know what exactly is going to change in our life, not with the external factors. Within your inner awakening can it only happen. And let me repeat this. If you are in a trouble in your life today, if you are having a failure in your life today, if you have troubles in your life today, be blessed, because Devi becoming active. She is becoming active in your life. Not an external goddesses, as an inner alignment, a refinement, she is there with you. Older emotions come to your surface. Troubles will come into your surface. Defeats, repeated defeats will happen. But only one key you need to hold. The key is about honesty. And that is the first, the truth act of the sadhana. If you really want to experience the true paddhati of the sadhana, be honest. Be honest to yourself. Be honest to your inner changes. Bhairava is going to be with you. He is going to make sure that he is going to align your life in a much more better. The clarity will come into your life. Bhairava activation will happen. there would be a lot of fundamental changes which is going to happen. Emotional disturbance may happen. No longer it is not no longer no going to dormant you. He is going to make sure, he is going to hold you, he is going to take you in this from out of this basara. Maybe with this note, I take a leave on this video. This is the video information which a lot of people trying to ask me about the questions about this alignment, and with this information, the alignment, stulana, I was able to give this information. And one thing before I conclude this, people ask me like, why Bhairava first, Devi later, or Devi first, Bhairava second. Let me just tell you, they are the single face of the coin. You cannot flip it. Once Devi comes, Bhairava is must going to come. When Bhairava comes, Devi is going to come in your life. There is no changes at all. And here I am not tagging Devi as any of the forms. She is a Shakti. She is a complete Shakti Swarupini here. With this note, we'll take a leave. Om Bhairavaya Namaha. Om Kala Kalaya Vidmahe Kalatitaya Dhimahi Tanno Kala Bhairava Prachodayat. Om Hingule Paramahingule Amrita Rupini Tanu Shakti Manashiveshari Hingulaya Namaha. Namaskaram.